Hello and welcome back to Belmont Bunch. I need a haircut and I'm here with James.
And that's why I'm wearing a hat so that you can't tell I also need a haircut. So Tom, how are you?
I am well. This was like a just like one of those weeks. It was just like a fine week. Nothing much happened. I relaxed a bit. I wrote some articles and I wrote my first obituary. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Well, moving on. Let's talk about the Islanders.
Segue.
Segway Sam. All right. So the Islanders, they played Pittsburgh twice, and they also lost to Pittsburgh twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then they played the Sabres once, and they beat the Sabres once. So, only 3 games this week, which is cool, I guess. It's a little sad that 2 of them were losses to the same team. So why don't we start with just a quick recap of the 2 games, and then I have a thought about the Pittsburgh team and why they seem to be beating us.
Okay. All right. And, so you want me to go through the 2 Pittsburgh games and then you can do that?
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the first Pittsburgh game, a 4-1 final. It took me a little bit to remember what had happened in this game because, I always hide away whenever we lose in my brain, unless it hurts really bad. And then that's always at the forefront of my brain, remembering how.
Yeah. It's like not like a super demeaning loss and not like a, super.
Yeah. Like we'll get to the tough one, which was the second Pittsburgh loss. But the first one, from what I remember, we played a not good, but an okay first period. And we came out of it down 1-0. And then from then on in, we just got outworked. And that's something that doesn't happen to a Barry Trotz team a lot. But we were coming right off of the 8-game point streak. This is what ended it. And to me, I guess it was kind of like the point streak had to end at some point. You would have preferred it to come more like the second game came where, they played a little bit harder. But yeah, this was one of those games, 4 goals against, none of them really on. Oh, okay. I think there was 1 on Varley. Oh, no, that's the second game. Don't worry. First game, Varley didn't have much of a chance on the goals that went in. There was 1 early on. The 1-0 goal looked like a soft one at first, but then on closer inspection, Crosby deflected it ever so slightly.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So that, that changes the direction of the puck and it makes it very difficult, especially so close to Varley. The only thing to take out of this game was that we got another power play goal and it was from Nelson and Bailey got an assist on it and Leddy. So it's like 3 guys that you want to see on the score sheet. Leddy has been doing pretty well this year with point production. And the funny thing is it always seems to be a secondary assist. And people don't remember secondary assists as much. So you could tell somebody right now that Nick Leddy has 1 goal and no assist. I think they'd believe you, but he actually has 1 goal and something like 8 assists.
Oh my God, wow.
That's he's got 9 points, something around. That's nice. At least, that's the only thing you could really take out of that game positively, because after the first, they just got outworked. And one of the bigger bad notes to take out of that game is that Kiefer Bellows has lost his shot at the lineup for a little bit because Barry Trotz, who's very calculated, he's not going to rip a player if it's not deserved. I always feel like it's fair when he rips a player in the media. He ripped Leo a few weeks ago when Leo was making game ruining decisions. And Kiefer Bellows in this game, it was 2-0 Pittsburgh, but it didn't feel fully out of reach. It was pretty rough. The Isles offense kind of shut down after the first, and they give up a 3rd goal in the 3rd to make it 3-0. And then you're like, okay, it's over. And that was a play where Bellows, just lazy to get back, got beat, and his man scored. I think that was Zucker. Yeah, it was Zucker. And after the game, Barry had a quote he had his shot, and past tense, and that's very strong wording for Barry. He also, in that same sentence, lauded guys like Wahlstrom for, being just as young and having just as little experience as Bellows, but has stuck in the lineup better than Bellows has. So that's what I got out of that game.
So you think it's just like a discipline thing with Bellows?
It's a he's not ready thing. I think he got sent down to the taxi squad, but the what I'm seeing, like if that's what Barry thinks, and I kind of tend to agree with him on that. Bellows hasn't really shown anything. I think he's better off in the minors so that he's actually playing hockey.
Yeah, the taxi squad has been very weird to me.
Yeah, and obviously it's a weird thing for everybody this year because it's not something we've ever had. But it's a bunch of guys that aren't playing hockey. They're practicing with the team, but game action is better for development. And Bellows is still a young guy. I think the taxi squad I think of as more of like a place for some veteran depth guys who don't necessarily need to be playing every single day to jump into the lineup. Leo Komarov is a good fit for that because also like I don't know what Leo's going to do down in the minors because like he's not a scorer. I would like Bellows down there because Bellows can maybe refine his scoring touch and get things going that way. But yeah, that's kind of what I've got out of that game.
Was that
at least Brock scored?
Was that the game where I think it was one of these last two Pittsburgh's games where I think it was Matt Martin got a penalty called on him and he he shoved the puck away from the ref. Was that the first Pittsburgh game?
I think so because late in the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, it was late in the game.
So it got a little bit chippy because and we're a little bit late to the Twitter drama on this because people were talking about this on Twitter. But Matt Barzal was skating in the corner of the offensive zone, and Mike Matheson, who has a little bit of a history of he had a high hit on Boychuk in the playoffs last year, and it was one of the reasons that Boychuk retired. Not as much the actual like impact of the hit, though it was pretty bad because remember he retired because of an eye issue from that skate to the eye, but that hit by Matheson made Boychuk realize he couldn't even see Matheson coming, and Matheson was like right in front of him. So he was like, for my own safety, like if I can't even see guys that are about to run me over, I shouldn't be playing anymore. And, that sucks. And so Matheson has a little bit of a reputation with the Islanders as being a little bit of a dirty player. And this wasn't on that level. This was a bit of a cross check to Barzal. It's less about the cross check. It's more about where on the ice it happened because it sent Barzal like face first into the boards. And so it wasn't like he stapled him in like full body check, but it's a dangerous play where a guy is, Barzal's like on one leg and I don't know if he's exactly on one leg at this point, but his weight is shifted and just a slight push is able to put him headfirst into the boards. And I actually don't even remember if they called a penalty, but the Isles for the rest of the game were, trying to incite stuff with Matheson. So obviously it's more than the Barzal hit. It's partly the Boychuk thing. And so there's some history there. And I actually wasn't a big fan of it from the Isles perspective. But like they're also gonna stand up for their guys when they feel like that's needed.
Yeah. And then I just remembered it now. Martin was also trying to fight like the same guy repeatedly. I can't remember his name now.
Mike Matheson.
That was Matheson? He tried to fight.
Yeah, I think it was him too. Well,
no, I thought there was another guy. Yeah.
There was a play where Martin took Matheson into the boards like after the play, or didn't hit him, but like ran him into the boards a little bit and was like jawing at him.
No, there's definitely another guy. Does Matheson have long hair?
No, it might have been Letang.
It was Letang.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that sounds right. I'm so bad with names. It took me basically all of last year just to remember the Islanders' names.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dow Cole because I said it a lot last year.
Yeah. What's ironic is Dow Cole and Barzal are probably the two names we say the most. Also, quick weird to do with nothing. It was one of the last games Dow Cole was in. So this was last week, I think. He was him and Barzal were sitting in the bench next to each other on the bench, chatting up like a bunch of old chums.
Yeah.
So I think it's always nice to see like when the chemistry's there between like all the players on the team.
Dow Cole to the first line confirmed, except he got put on the IR, and it's actually the first time in his career that I've I've actually seen him go to the IR and go, oh, what happened? I think we're gonna miss him. He blocked a shot in the Buffalo game.
Ooh.
Yikes. Yeah. So I think we actually missed Del Cole a little bit this week, which is something I don't know if I've said, because he has, he's been better than I would say Leo to an extent, and I would say Bellows for sure. And he was playing well on that makeshift second line when Bo was out.
Yeah.
Now that Bo is back, it kind of, things are, a little bit more up in the air. If Dal Cole were healthy, it would be interesting to see who would play, Komarov or Dal Cole. And my pick would be Dal Cole currently, but I could see, Komarov's been playing a little bit better.
Yeah, that's definitely true. If from what I remember, like a lot more defensively, kind of like minded, and like he's actually been like broken up like some like dangerous kind of like zone entries, if I remember correctly, for Komarov. But I could be making it. I just definitely remember seeing him making a difference as to like taking terrible penalties and then putting our team.
Well, I just noticed him like skating harder and winning some like races to pucks, and he's not a fast skater, so it was a little bit like his compete level was a little bit better. I don't know. Can you hear the sirens going on?
Are you? Is everything all right there?
I think so. You were talking about Letang, I think.
Oh yeah. All right. So, well, no, it was after that. I was just saying Martin was feisty, I guess, in that game and fired up because he was starting the fights. He started 2 fights, if I remember correctly, with Letang.
Yeah,
and that was because in the game, the previous week or whatever, Letang had cross-checked him like in the midsection.
Yeah.
That's what they think, and so like the game's being so close, right? Like it's kind of
I think he hit Zizekas.
Okay, that makes that's probably that sounds right. I could be wrong. But whatever. So okay, so that was the first Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. Exciting hockey. Can't wait for another Pittsburgh game. So then the second Pittsburgh game, which kind of sucked a little bit because, closer score.
It sucked less in terms of quality. It hurt more.
Yeah.
It sucked more because it sucked because it hurt more.
It sucked more, but it blew less,
Mega made. Anyway, here's what I got on that game. I think I saw the first goal this year where I was not happy with Varley.
Really?
So the Penguins got on the board. It was 0-0 after 1. This is the game where the Islanders badly outplayed Pittsburgh and badly outshot Pittsburgh. The shots in the first were, I'm looking it up right now. The shots in the first were 16-4 Islanders. They would finish 35-18 Islanders. They would still lose the game. Now, the first goal, the one that I said I was not happy with, came off of a Beauvillier penalty, and it's like 5 seconds into the Penguins power play, and Letang shoots from the point and scores. Yeah. And why I'm angry at this one, I think, some of the people that I watched the games with, I saw say like, oh, that's why you don't take penalties. But I think that's a little bit unfair to the penalty killers because all that happened was, they lost the face-off, the penalty killers, but this is a shot from the point. So very far out, right on top of the blue line, with no traffic in front, and it beat Varley. It was a hard shot, but at that distance, with no traffic, you should save that. You should absolutely save that. I honestly don't care how hard the puck is hit. And also Letang's momentum is bringing him backwards. So it's not even like he stepped into it. He did get a great one-timer off, but I don't think Varley should have let this one in. And that's a shame because I think it starts to get in the Islanders' head. They've struggled with Pittsburgh a little bit this year. And Pittsburgh's a team that doesn't defend well, and the Isles still haven't found a way to punish them. And in this game, at least they created the chances. This is one of those games the advanced stats nerds.
That was an
the advanced stats nerds would, be pulling their hair out because the Islanders, as was pointed out on Twitter a few days ago, I think it was who was Carrie. I think it was from Carrie Haber. The Islanders' expected goals, which is an advanced stat, like the Islanders are number 1 in the division in expected goals.
Well, see, they calculate that with the position the shots are taken from, right?
Yeah.
So it's like who's shooting the puck isn't probably taken into account. This goes to my thought about Pittsburgh.
Okay, sure.
So I'll just kind of roll right into it.
Mhm.
I think that, like you said, Pittsburgh's defense is, not something to be scared of, I suppose, right?
And their goaltending either.
Yeah, that's right. There wasn't their goaltender under.
It was only the
900?
second. Yeah, he was under. He still is.
Okay.
And on top of that, his goals against is above 3, which is pretty bad. His save percentage is under 900. And it was only like, these were the second and third games all year that he allowed 3 goals or less.
Yeah, that's right. I remember hearing that. So this is like, the thought is that the Islanders, Pittsburgh is just playing a just barely good enough game to counter the Islanders, right? So it's like, because it doesn't exactly make sense with the fact that we've beaten Boston twice, or we've only played them twice, right?
Yeah, we're 2-0.
And so like that doesn't make sense because Boston's good offense and good defense. But it's like where their defense is just basically able to counter our offense enough, right? Yeah. But then their offense is only good enough to counter our defense because of Crosby. Because I'm pretty sure he has, out of the, all the goals, he probably has like half. I don't know. That's probably too many. Out of all the goals like that they've scored against us, he has like, if he hasn't scored the goal, he was like part of the play.
Well, historically he has been very good against the Islanders.
Interesting.
But in these 2 games, in this specific 2 games,
I actually do remember one of the announcements. I think Butch was saying like that he loves playing the Islanders.
Yeah, historically, I think they're the team that he's scored the most points against. I think that's possible. What the heck? And part of that is also first of all, credit where it's due. He's like a generational talent. But also, you play in a division. So you play each other very often, and the Islanders were terrible for a long time. So he did get to,
like beat up on
yeah, he got to beat up on them a little bit, but he beat up on everybody, but we were also bad. So he got to beat up on us a little bit more.
So honestly, that's like, I really think it's like, he's like the main reason.
Oh yeah.
That obviously, like, he's obviously such a good player, but like, just, he can generate the momentum and the plays just to like get over our defense, because I think in every game, the game that was on last Thursday, so February 18th, was the only game that wasn't close with Pittsburgh, because all the others went to overtime.
Yeah, they've been very tight. We just keep losing them. It's the
exactly, yeah. So I think
we're 1-3 against Pittsburgh, or maybe 1-4.
Let's see. So we have one.
We lost the 2 last week. I think we lost one in OT. Okay, 1-3, and we won 1. Yeah, we lost the game.
Sorry, 1-4.
Oh, yeah, because we had the 1 OT game where we were up with 18 seconds left, gave up a goal, and then lost in the shootout.
Yep. And maybe if Andrew Ladd was there, he would have won us the shootout.
Yeah.
But could have redeemed himself. So that's, I know it's like a stupid thought, but it's just like, I think that our offense is just not good enough to get past their not great defense, and their offense is just good enough, mostly because of Crosby, just to get past our defense, or like create enough of an opening or enough opportunities, enough confusion even, to just make scoring opportunities.
I think what you said about expected goals, who's shooting it, and the Isles don't have like a lot of like they don't have any pure snipers, like a line A type guy, not even of that quality, but a guy that is on the ice just to shoot, essentially.
Yeah, like you pass it to him and he's gonna take a shot kind of idea.
Yeah, and I think the Islanders are like that because Barry Trotz likes his players to play a 2-way game. He doesn't want one-dimensional players. Although that being said, I wouldn't mind one-dimensional player if it's a sniper. But I also understand that with the cap constraints at the moment, it's going to be pretty difficult. So they kind of just need somebody like a Wahlstrom, who had a chance in this game to put the Islanders ahead. I believe when it was 2-2, Wahlstrom hit the post on a one-timer from point blank. He needs to score that.
Yeah.
Also in this game, a big turning point. So Letang made it 1-0, and then the Isles get the next 2 goals. Jordan Eberle scored not long after. It was a great play by Beauvillier to halt, wait for help, and then Matheson, who I trolled on Twitter, and I would come to regret. He and his defensive partner, I think it was Joseph, both played the pass. And so Eberle goes, all right, I guess I'll just walk in and shoot, and he scores. So it was like a weird defensive breakdown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Was that the game also where, or was it the Sabres game where Beauvillier hit the crossbar? I think it was Beauvillier, like it was a weird deflection off the goalie, and he came like flying in and just tapped the puck, but it went high and hit the crossbar.
Honestly, I can't remember.
Or am I imagining
specific?
This? I don't know.
I don't know. I
thought that was in the Pittsburgh game too.
I can't remember that specific moment, but yeah, Eberle gets one. Eberle conversely likes playing against the Penguins. He's been really good against the Penguins for us. And then I think it was Brock. Yeah, Brock Nelson to start the third just threw one on net, and it was the rare occurrence where Josh Bailey was the guy creating havoc in front of the net and screened Jari and made it 2-1 Islanders. And I was I was excited because it felt like they really deserved the lead based on the shot, the shots on goal. Although the second period was a little bit more even, the Isles dominated the first. The second period, I think the Penguins had a lot of chances. Shots were about even in the second. And then in the third, you come right out and you score a goal 53 seconds in. And you are like, all right, we're a good defensive team, and now we're up a goal. We're playing from our position of strength. And it just here's where I regretted the Matheson thing. With 7:35 into the period, Matheson scores, and this is a guy who does not score. He's a defensive defenseman who arguably isn't even good at that, and he gets up in the offensive attack, and Teddy Bluger has the puck in the corner, and Matt Barzal doesn't skate with Matheson, and the pass slips through, and he scores from the middle of the slot with nobody on him. And wow, that's like that was for Barzal, that was on the level of the Bellows, lapse in defensive work, or like just defensive hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was bad. Like, I was surprised that Barry didn't get on him a little bit in the post game. Obviously, the difference between Bellows and Barzal is that Barzal does offensive things that can cover that sometimes. Yeah. But that's a bad one, and I'm sure they talked about that in the film room.
I definitely remember thinking that, and I was like, oh, like, why was nobody on him? Because I wasn't paying attention to who was supposed to be on him.
Yeah.
But then I saw your tweet about that. I was like, oh, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
That was bad. It was a really bad lapse. And it's such a preventable thing too. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wonder if but that's truthfully, I wonder if Barzal saw that it was Matheson and was like, he's not going to shoot.
Maybe. That's interesting. That's like, the like, you're like what's the word? You're not humble enough to like accept the fact that you have to do like kind of even the mundane things.
Yeah, you still got to put the pressure on the guy, and and maybe he's thinking, hey, if we steal this puck, their defenseman's pinching, we can counter. But
that's true, which could have been huge if we missed. So
yeah, but you still, obviously you have to make the play, and they didn't, and then it was 2-2, and then 5 or 6 minutes later, Chris Letang scores again. So this is the frustrating thing about this game. You lose, kind of like bringing it back to what you said about Crosby. This year, the Penguins are still in the playoff chase, and I would say a lot of that is on their high-end talent. Crosby's having a good year. Malkin, not really. Honestly, I can't really tell you why the Penguins are still in a playoff chase. Because Crosby is playing well.
Because we keep on giving them wins. We gave them 3 wins, dude.
That's you're right. So part of it is the Islanders not being able to, cash in on the chances they're creating. But Crosby, think of it like this: Pittsburgh scored 3 goals, no forwards, all defensemen. That's bad for the Islanders. That's a bad loss.
Which game was that?
The second game.
That was the second. All 3 goals were from defensemen.
By defensemen.
Oh my God.
Against a Pittsburgh team that doesn't have good offensive defensemen. Letang is a good offensive defenseman, but outside of him, like, it's pretty barren. I guess Joseph, but he's a rookie, so he's still working his way in. But that's not good. Like, that's a really, really tough loss, because that shouldn't happen.
No,
to a team
crazy.
That defends like the Islanders
itself on its defense. That's crazy.
Yeah, and Varley didn't really have a shot at the second or third. I still am a little bit frustrated by the first, but
You know. What was the situation? I know we still have we spent more time on these games than we were intending to. What's the deal? Sorokin was sent to the taxi squad. What happened with that?
I think it's more like bookkeeping type stuff.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think it was anything like with his play.
Yeah, because they're saying that he's going to start one of the next two games this weekend. So it sounds like Varley's going to start tomorrow or today when this comes out.
Yeah, so he's going to play against Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess I think Trotz is probably identifying the Boston game as a big statement type game because Boston just got done destroying the Flyers in the winter. The game at Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Outdoors, and they're very clearly the class of the division, Boston, right now. And for the Islanders to wash some of the bad taste out of the Pittsburgh games, I think they really are circling this game on their calendar. My light went out. And going, yeah, this is a game we don't want to start. We don't want to throw Sorokin in against this team. We really want this one. Mm-hmm. And Varley's been. I just complained about one goal, but that really is like the first goal in a long time that I've been frustrated with. So, I think Varley starting today, Thursday, makes a lot of sense. And then they get Pittsburgh again this weekend. Not that it's been Varley's fault, but maybe give Sorokin a look at Pittsburgh. Sometimes
has he played against Pittsburgh yet?
I don't think. No,
he didn't play in the shootout loss. He didn't play them this past week, and I don't know if he played them in the game that we won. I
don't think so.
So yes, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I think if Varley is 1-4 against Pittsburgh, and it's not like again this isn't putting it on him. His goalie records sometimes don't reflect how well a goalie is or isn't, and in Sorokin's case. I would say you would want to start him, first of all, because it's a back-to-back. You don't want to start your goalie, too much in too short a period and get them off their game. But also Sorokin, maybe some goalies just have some teams' numbers.
Yeah.
And we saw that, I think Greiss had Columbus's number and Carolina's number, I think. Statistically, he was just really good. Oh, in Florida. Sorry, maybe not Carolina. I think it was Florida and Columbus. Greiss was excellent against those teams. And you don't really question it. You just if you keep getting results with that goalie in net against that specific team, it's worth taking a shot. So I think for the Islanders, it's the opposite here, where Varley, even though he's not playing badly, isn't getting results against Pittsburgh. And it's all right, let's give it a look for Sorokin, partly because it's a back-to-back and we need him to start one of these games.
Yeah.
But also because eventually Sorokin's going to have to play against better competition. He's not going to just get to shut out Buffalo.
Yeah.
Every start.
It's unfortunate. He will not be able to. So let's then talk about briefly the Buffalo game, which was on Monday, the 22nd. Mm-hmm. We won 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were you talking about?
Yeah. Do you want to start?
I don't remember. I did actually watch this whole game, but I'm not. I can't remember the details. As soon as you start talking about it, it'll start coming back.
Sure. So this is one I would say, and I said in my recap that I don't think we deserved to win. It was an interesting one where a Barry Trotz team, and I said this about the first Pittsburgh game, got outworked. And I was watching with my family, and I was my mom and my dad were like, "Isn't Buffalo terrible?" And I was like, "Yeah, but the Isles very coolly and very calmly beat Buffalo the first two meetings without even really playing excellent hockey. The Isles were able to play their B level game and beat them both times. And that's because Buffalo's offense has been really, 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 really struggling. And so the Isles just got two in the first of each of those games and knew the game was pretty much over from there. Mm-hmm. This game, they get scored against first. So they don't have that opportunity to score first, get Buffalo's morale down, because Buffalo is a team that seems to be really down on themselves. Yeah. And if you score the first goal against Buffalo, I really think that a lot of times the game is over from there. This current Buffalo team, And Buffalo for the last 10 years, to be honest. They haven't made the playoffs in 10 years. And they get down on themselves real quick. And the Isles didn't do that. They didn't get to them early. Buffalo scored. They outshot the Islanders like 12-3 in the first period. It was alarming. It was alarming. Curtis Lazar, this is not one that Varley could have had a real good shot at. This is a tip from in front by Lazar. It's a good goal. It's a pretty good piece of hand-eye coordination. And that made it 1-0 Buffalo. And luckily, in the second period, there was a bit of a fight back from the Isles. They got an Anders Lee goal, and he now leads the team in goals. This was a funny one. So the second period, I wouldn't even say was that much better than the first. It was better. It was definitely better, but it wasn't excellent. It wasn't good. It was it was edit all of that noise out. Yeah. So Barzal took a penalty. The Isles get a good penalty kill. They don't allow much. And against Buffalo's power play, which has been good against us, that was a big victory. Barzal comes out of the box and has an unbelievable shift. He gets the puck, gets a shot off, retrieves the puck, then loses the puck, then wins it back before the puck can even exit the zone, creates a lot of zone time for the Islanders. And eventually, Jordan Eberle, I believe, found Anders Lee wide open in front, like nobody on him. And Lee is able to deke past the goalie and slide it in. And not only did Barzal create that like zone time, but on the goal, the reason that Lee was wide open was because two guys were sandwiching Barzal away from the puck. So this was like a great shift for Barzal where, he gives you possession and then he also is able to act as a diversion. And then Anders Lee scores his team leading 8th goal. He's been really good. And it's 1-1 and you feel like we got ourselves going again. And then that didn't really translate into like an excellent period from there. I thought that would be a turning point and they'd wake up, and play an excellent period, but now it's just kind of an okay period. Third period, first 5 minutes, Matt Martin throws one at the net and it just goes in. And the Isles have been doing better at this recently. The Brock Nelson goal in the Pittsburgh game that put them up in that game and the Martin goal in this game, of just starting to put the puck on net, which is nice. Martin got robbed earlier in the second period on a similar shot, but this time he got, I think, a slight deflection off a Buffalo player too. He played a good game. The fourth line played a good game.
Yeah.
They were creating havoc in the Buffalo zone. They started to get us some momentum back, some zone time that helps to do that. So that put us up 2-1. But Sam Reinhart scored on the power play. Buffalo's power play is like its number one thing to avoid because otherwise they're not a very efficient offensive team. But this is one you can't really do much about because they ping the puck around very quickly. They have a lot of talent. It isn't translating 5-on-5, but it is translating on the power play. And Victor Olofsson, who has like been a nightmare for us, I think he threw it on net and puck bounced up in the air and all the Islanders probably don't know where it is. And Sam Reinhart just bats it in. Very impressive goal. Not anything that we could really do about that as a team. So that was like one of those, it hurts, but I don't have anybody to yell at. So it's even more annoying. But luckily the Isles kind of they did pick up their game after that and they got rewarded. They got a power play goal to win the game with about 5 minutes left from Pajot, his 7th, third line, but he's got 7 goals. He is a very good fit for this team. This was finally, they got the puck on net. We had 2 power plays in this game. We scored on this one. First one was horrible, and I don't think it got a shot on net. Second one, I kept screaming at my TV, give it to Pulock, because he's got that hard shot. And they didn't for the whole time he was on the ice. And this is kind of towards the waning, the back half of the power play. And they put Wahlstrom out there. And Wahlstrom took the Pulock shot that I wanted, that like OV area outside of, like kind of in the circle. Hard shot got saved, but created a rebound and Pajot tapped it in. God, I wish the Islanders would give it to Pollock more often on the power play. But same result. They get the game winner. They did have to sweat through some possession by Buffalo in the last minute, and it kind of, to me, felt like it was going to be like the Pittsburgh game again, where they gave up a late one, and then who knows what happens
that was
from there.
really worrying because wasn't there like a whistle with like 30 seconds to left or something? And I was just like, oh god, Buffalo's going to win the face-off, and then they're going to get like it's going to go overtime or something.
Yeah, we were hemmed in our zone for a good while there. So, but hey, that was I was saying an essential win because our next 3 games are are Boston, Pittsburgh, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And those are tough, and you could go 0-3, so you really needed the Buffalo game.
Yeah. So 2 things. Oh yeah. So next week we have Boston, Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh are back to back on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we have the Devils on Tuesday, right before the week resets.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, because that's how we're looking at the schedule.
Yeah.
So 2 things. One, why do you think? Because I remember last season I remember Pollock, doing the slap shot a lot, not even on the power, not necessarily on the power play a lot last season.
Yeah.
And I have not seen that a lot this season.
Yeah. I think they have a new power play coach. And also I think, the fans have joked for a while that Pollock would have a great shot if it was ever on target. But
you think he's self-conscious? He's like, I don't want to shoot. They're going to make fun of me.
No, I think actually this year, from what I've seen, and I don't know if this is backed up by stats, so I'm just going to make my feelings more important than the facts, per usual. But I have noticed when he does get that shot off, that it seems like he is maybe holding it back a little bit speed-wise to make sure it gets on goal. So it is, probably not as effective a shot in terms of like, if you're just ripping it, close your eyes and swing, and 1 in 15 goes in. That's fine, but I actually do prefer him, calculating the shot a little bit more, because maybe that gives him enough time to find like a hard shot pass towards the front. If one of the Islanders has their stick down in front, they could tip it in. If you're getting it on net, you're just going to get more rebounds, and that's better than just missing the net. And with how hard a shot is, it'll miss the net, hit off the boards, and go all the way back into our own zone and make us restart the power play anyway.
Yeah. Do you think there's like some like concern as to hitting players and his own teammates as well as obviously the other team? Because there was that, I remember last year he hit Brock Nelson in the head. Yeah. And broke his helmet.
Yeah, that was scary.
Like,
so I wonder that maybe that could get into his head, Pollock.
If I'm not a hockey player, but I know that I would be concerned about that. I don't want to hurt people, like that blatantly, some cross-checking here or there. Yeah, sure. But like, just
like, I want to hurt the other team, not my own guys. No.
But anybody, right? Like, 100 mile per hour, like hard piece of rubber, cold, hard piece of rubber, right? Yes. Like, that's going to hurt. So I don't know. It's something that's interesting that I remember seeing a lot more of last season. Even, like I said, not even considering the power play, like just in general, but definitely the power play. And then the other thing I was thinking about was, which a lot of people have talked about, is that the fact that we've been really good at home and not as good away. And that makes
no sense because there's no crowd.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course. But the other thing is, during one of the earlier games of the season, the Butch and Brendan were saying like that Trotz said the boards are very dead in the Coliseum. The puck doesn't bounce off the boards as much, and so it's like it could just be like kind of like knowing your stadium a little bit better, and knowing that like somebody like if you do shoot it off the boards or whatever, right? Like you have a better idea of where the puck's going to end up. That's probably like that might really have very little to do with it, but it could be just like a simple kind of like better understanding like that, like which you would assume every team would have for their home.
Yeah, your home arena, especially goalies. I think they know how lively the boards will be in their home arena, and that helps them when they're like going out to retrieve the puck behind the net, or like just maybe with like shot. Sometimes guys will purposely miss the net with a shot, but like they're still, like they angle it to get it on, like off the boards and then in front of the net, just to create havoc.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that can have an effect. I don't know how much it would affect like the standings, like if it affects it that much, like, but to me, it's more, I don't know, maybe it's like a familiarity with, or not familiar, just like the routine at home. Like, I don't know, honestly, like, because your home arena, and like for guys that have been around the league, they've, but you only get to go to some arenas once a year. Although we're playing teams that, a lot of the teams were still in our division, so we still played them a lot. I don't know.
I guess we're going to every arena at least like 4 times.
Yeah,
right? I don't know if exactly it works out that evenly, but in our division, right, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how much that affects, but I'm sure the players could tell you a little bit better about how that actually affects them. But
well, all right, next week we'll get one of the players and
we'll get Dal Cole while he's out.
Hey, he might have time. He might have free time. No, because we'll get like some crazy luck. We'll be able to like reach out to one of the players, but it'll be like Andrew Ladd or like somebody that we don't want. No,
you pick the older guy because he could take it better probably. And he's got $5.5 million to go. All right, whatever, kid.
He actually Andrew Ladd. Nothing against Andrew Ladd. He does a lot of awesome outreach stuff. So which is great.
I wish he could outreach the puck into the net.
Oh, got him. So
can't.
So anyway, so those were the 3 games then. I guess, man, we spent way more time than I thought, but that's per the usual.
That's the usual. We're gonna start calling the show Longer Than You Thought.
Longer than you thought, but shorter than you think. So. The next thing on our list, we have 2 more things. The players that have been impressing us this week, which we kind of you touched on a little bit. But just, we'll do that quickly. And then we're going to go around the league quickly.
Okay.
So players that have been impressing you, we'll start with you. Go for it. What are your thoughts?
In this 3-game stretch, it's a little bit difficult because, they went 1-2 and even in the win, I didn't think their best game was probably the game they lost 3-2 to Pittsburgh in terms of like an all-out performance.
Agree with that,
but I would say maybe not even just like his play has been that great, but Brock Nelson at least finding ways to score will get his momentum going a little bit and get his confidence up because I'm used to seeing Brock Nelson score on like these really nice wrist shots. And all of his goals this year, none of them are really like that. He has like 4 goals in tight where he just tapped it in off a great pass where he didn't really have to do much. And that was the first goal against the Pittsburgh game and the first Pittsburgh game. But even though it wasn't like this outrageously nice goal, and it wasn't in the second game either, where he just threw it on net, and it just went in because Josh Bailey created traffic in front. But just like confidence-wise, it was a big week for him. He got his first non-power play goal. And he still got it is good that he has 5 goals and that's not even with him playing well. So that's good. But
that's true, yeah.
There was a 2-on-1 he had that he didn't shoot on, and I really want he
tried to pass it to
Zizekas.
He tried to pass to Zizekas?
Yeah, in the Buffalo game. And Zizekas tried to pass it back to Brock. Classic Islanders. 2 passes too many.
No, Yupa. No, shoot.
But Brock, when Brock is confident, he shoots that 100% of the time. Because it's a 2-on-1. They're giving him the shot. Brock has a good shot. That tells me his confidence isn't very high because he would have shot that if he were playing, in the bubble. Like in the bubble last year, he had a bunch of those. They just ripped top corner. He had one against Philly. He had one of those against he had a couple of those against Philly, and he had one against Tampa as well. And he had a couple against Florida too. So he was scoring that type of goal throughout the playoffs, and he's been reluctant to shoot this year. and I think he needs his confidence
Yeah.
jarred up a little
Confidence seems like I just hope. How old is he?
bit. 29?
Oh, okay. So yeah, because I would be surprised if we saw any regression. Like I feel like he should probably be like at least the same as last year, unless something, unless he was injured or something, which we probably would have heard about. But yeah, Brock's like definitely probably last year he was one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
So it is definitely frustrating to see him have a slow start. So hopefully he'll just like kind of slowly keep on building momentum.
Yeah. Who impressed you?
So I was very impressed by Crosby. By far. He was he was good in those Pittsburgh games. Which sucked. And I'm not being sarcastic. That is my answer.
Okay.
So
that's fair. I don't know if even with my answer, like it was more like, oh, he got himself going a bit.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't like outrageously good stuff. But I do have a guy that's disappointed me, and that is Kiefer Bellows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a highly touted prospect, and goal scoring was supposed to be one of the things. And last year he got into was this 2 years ago already? I think it was. We had a period where we were really struggling, and we were down to the Kings, and it was Kiefer Bellows, like one of his first games, and he scored 2 goals, and we won that game.
Yeah, I remember.
And we
I
really
don't
needed it.
Sorry, I'm thinking of something else. But yeah.
But he came up and he showed something, but he doesn't seem to be able to fit into Trotz's system at the moment. The only thing he's really doing is hitting, and that's harvesting Lou coin for him. In reference to our talk.
He's a pretty big guy too. Right? He's like 6'4", but he's like kind of skinny, right?
He's like a fairly big guy. He's like a muscular, pretty big build. But yeah. It just kind of disappointed.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know what to say other than hopefully it's just development, right? What is he, like 22?
I think he's either 22 or 23. He's still pretty young.
Yeah.
His life isn't over like us.
Yeah, exactly. He's not 25, staring down an empty bottle or whatever.
Yeah, he's probably not wearing generic looking pajama pants like I am right now.
No one had to know that. We could have gone this whole episode. No one would have known.
They need to know. The people need to know.
So then let's go our closing segment.
Sure.
Our favorite segment. Everybody loves this segment. It's around the league in 60 seconds. I'm going to start a 60-second timer. All right. I'm going to put it on my phone.
I'm ready.
So that so that I don't have to edit one in. And all right, stopwatch. Are you ready?
All right.
So ready, 3. So, okay, wait, let's establish the rules.
Okay.
And if you win, you
wait, what is winning? Define.
Yeah. So winning is you successfully describe your a quick overview and what's going on in the other 3 divisions. And a fun fact about each division.
Okay. Well, I was going to try to do something a little bit different. You know what? Your idea is better. In the future, maybe I won't do this the first time.
Okay.
But in the future, I'm going to challenge myself. And in 60 seconds, I will try to say something about every single team.
Oh, that would be a lot.
Okay, I'm going to do that this time.
No, 2 seconds per team. That's not enough time. We'll do it next time.
I could say like 2 words.
Next time.
Okay.
All right. So a fun fact. Do you have? I don't know any fun facts about anything.
I think I'm ready for this.
So a quick overview. No, you don't have to go through this. You don't have to go through the standings. Just a quick overview of every division. Let's do all 4 divisions, not including the East. And a fun fact. Okay, ready?
All right, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, in the North, I'm not sure if Toronto is actually this good or if it's a bad division, but they are a decent team. Edmonton is getting going, so that's exciting. Montreal just fired their coach, and they look really bad recently. And Carey Price, guess what? He's not worth $10 million. Ottawa, their season is a success just based off of screwing the Maple Leafs and Montreal. In the Discovery Central division, I'm not sure about the Florida Panthers still, but I look like a moron. The Columbus Blue Jackets, what happened to your defense? What happened to your goaltending? What's going on? Carolina's so good. Tampa's so good. Chicago, how do you keep pulling this magic on us? Please be bad for once. Nashville, RIP. Detroit, RIP. Dallas start playing some games because of COVID. The East, it's a bloodbath. Boston's the only team that for sure will make the playoffs. Outside of that, it's pretty much anybody's game. And in the West, Vegas, St. Louis, and Colorado are clearly the best teams, and it's anybody for the 4 at this moment.
Does that cover everybody?
Yep.
Wait, no, I think. Wait,
no, not every single team. I covered every division.
All right, so that was 1 minute.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, you win. Hang on, 1
what
second.
What do I get? Do I get an Andrew Ladd bobblehead?
You win, Tom. This honorary Andrew Ladd bobblehead.
But I already have one.
Oh, so you were obviously a previous winner.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is the second time you're winning.
Of the first time we've done this.
Andrew Ladd bobblehead, authentic. It's real. All right.
$600 on eBay. I'll sign it.
At least $600 opened.
Yes.
Like, if it's still in the box, which
$1,000 otherwise, and then double that.
Least.
Double that if we sign it.
If we sign it, yeah,
signed
easily.
Belmont bunch.
Love Belmont bunch. Yes. So I will send this in the mail. You are one lucky winner. We'll stay tuned for whatever the prize will be next week. We're gonna have to get some more bobbleheads.
I have some Jets ones that no one will want.
Ooh, yeah, you're gonna have to pay people to take those off.
Please.
But yeah, I think that's it for the show this week. Anything you want to add, Tom?
No, I'm excited. The next 3 games are going to be like I almost feel like a seismic shift in the season because if they win all of them, they look like that would be like a big breakthrough, and the league would have to take notice. And if they lose all of them, they are in real bad trouble.
I'm starting to think, that the next probably I would say 2 weeks you'll really see the standings start to solidify. Obviously, just statistically, right? Like usually you have enough games played where it matters more. And I'm just worried that I almost wore the fisherman hat today because I'm like worried that we're gonna end up kind of like we were in the second half of last season, where it was like kind of like just 500 hockey. I don't think that's the case. But that's what I'm worried about. I don't think we'll be like bottom of the division, but I'm worried that we will just kind of be like almost, like the wins aren't as exciting and the losses are expected kind of thing, because it's like
We'll see. I think, there's very little you can predict in hockey. I mean, I don't think anybody.
How dare you?
I'm not saying you particularly.
No, I know.
But if anybody told you the Florida Panthers would be in first place, 18 games into the season in their division.
Same with the Maple Leafs, dude. Like, I didn't think they would be bad, but
I had them to win the division, so I felt pretty confident about it.
I didn't think they were going to be in the top of their division. But I don't know anything about other divisions. So.
Yeah. Well, I like right now, my predictions actually are doing all right. But there's always going to be some shocks. The LA Kings are currently in a playoff spot, and they're a team that I think I had finishing last. So
yeah,
and the Chicago Blackhawks, I thought were going to be really bad. I think everybody thought they were going to be really bad, and they're in a playoff spot right now.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, I said that kind of weird. Anyway, all right. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the Boston recap later today. Hopefully, it's a positive one.
I'm going to cry.
Yes. Well, it's at home, so we're going to win. So how about Andrew Ladd? Am I right?
Actually, I was looking for like different video ideas for like in between the recaps
Top
at some
10
point.
Andrew Ladds.
Number 1, Andrew Ladd. Number 2, Leo Komarov. I was looking at how much the Islanders are spending on certain things, and for the Islanders, like 6 best forwards. I think it's Barzal, Lee, Pajot, Nelson, Bailey, Eberle. Those 6 players are combined making $35.5 million, which isn't bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
That's not
less than half the cap.
Yeah, that's not like crazy. But And we're not spending a lot on the blue line. I didn't have the exact number, but that's partly because we have two, guys that are still finishing rookie deals in Pellich and
that's right.
Dobson. So that gets skewed a little bit because of that. But I was looking at like what's, hurting us cap wise, and oh my Lord, we have 6 players who
aren't playing,
who some of them aren't mainstays at all. And so Martin, Clutterbuck, those are mainstays. Komarov, who's played most of the time, but not all the time. Hickey, who never plays. Ladd, who never plays. And I forget. There was one more.
The last time Andrew Ladd played was probably the shootout loss, the very last game of last season, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
He was the last shootout of the last shootout attempt.
They went out at their lowest point. I think the sirens are going. God. That's good. Okay. The Isles are spending $16 million on those players, 2 of which
that's crazy.
Only 2 out of those 6 are actual mainstays in the lineup. So that's a little bit scary.
All right. So where were we? I already forgot.